Hello and welcome to Drive and Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. And you know what I despise?
What?
Boring conversations, games that are no fun. God, that is the worst. So, you know
But I
what?
like I like all those things though.
Of course you would. Of course you would, because you don't subscribe to our Patreon. Because our Patreon is the opposite of that. It's only entertainment over there. And just for $5 a month, you get that and more. But no main show content is locked behind the Patreon. This Tuesday, let's talk about Despiser from 2001. Some places I also see 2003. I don't know. So, Ryan, when did you first hear about Despiser? Where were you? Do you remember that moment?
Oh yeah, it was on that day in 2001.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was yeah, I was looking at the Hollywood Reporter then and I saw the I was like, "Oh wow, I'm really glad it's September 8th right now." And I just
Yeah, this is going to be the most important day of September 2001.
idea. No, I obviously I've never heard of this movie before.
Yeah, I picked it. It's a normal pick for me. I was looking at eBay and I saw a PSP lot, and this movie was in the PSP lot. You know how they used to sell movies for PSP?
Yeah,
This
right.
this
This was on
movie
PSP.
this was on PSP, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I saw the cover, and I was like, "I have to pick it. Let's see what's up with this." Um, wow, this movie's wild. It is the right from the rip. We have a group of like almost like bounty hunters, it looks like, in this smoky area. And they enter in a CGI car. So this movie is hybrid CG and live action. It looks like a classic PC game, an FMV game, right? Like those,
Yeah,
like,
looks like it's a PlayStation 1 graphics with like full motion characters.
yeah, it is old school, and it is a full length movie that most of the movie looks like this. And it opens with this gang, and they go to the CGI church, and there's like this main bad guy there that's like an evil spirit, and they hunt him down and kill him. um this movie has it's a look that like I've never seen in a movie before. I've seen it in video games, but it's so wild to see a feature length movie look like this.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen like I was thinking of like the Eiffel 65, like I'm Blue music
Yes,
video.
yeah.
There's like this one thing at like IMAX I remember where it was like it had something similar to like this for like these types of graphics. I
Hmm.
remember um it was a choice.
Yeah, well, it's weird because you can tell this movie's low budget, like very low budget, no actors, no nothing. But the CG looks low budget, but for 2001, whoever did this, I mean, it probably cost them a little bit of money to pull this off.
Yeah. Well, did you watch the making of documentary?
There's a making of documentary.
There is, because I wanted to know more about
Okay.
this one.
Well, you got to tell
So,
me.
so, I mean, obviously this movie's like super low budget, and if you look at the cast list, like this is just uh, the almost nobody in this movie like went on to do other movies after
No.
this. I think the main guy like maybe did like a couple of other things, but for the most part, it was this cast was like very much amateur actors.
Mm.
And the director of the movie, Philip Cook, I believe his name was,
Yes, yeah.
he had had some experience in the film industry, but he wanted to make his own feature-length film, and he had like all these like really crazy out there ideas that he wanted to film, but he could never get the money to film those types of scenes.
Hmm.
And basically, he ended up like hooking up with like another animator, and he was basically like showing him like what he could do on his computer, and he was just like, "Oh my God, like." I can finally like make the movie that I've always wanted to make. And I think they said like 80 or 90% of this movie was just filmed on green screen
Oh,
this
you
whole
can tell.
time. Yeah. And they like everyone in this movie, they were just like in awe that they were able to make a movie like this. Like they were just like, oh my God, you like they're like, I would just be walking on set and I just didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking like, what the hell is this movie gonna be? And then they said when they saw the finished product, they were just like blown away, like, whoa.
That makes it kind of endearing in a way that they were like excited to make this movie.
Yeah. So I mean this movie like it was filmed like out of the studio system, obviously. It's a
Mhm.
very independent, very low budget movie. So one thing I got to give props to is just they went all in on it and went completely serious. Like this movie is straight on as it
No,
gets.
no, this is not one of those movies where we go, it knows what it is, blah, blah, blah. No, this movie plays it straight. All of its weird ideas, it's there for you to take in. It kind of reminds me of Nightbreed in a way, where Nightbreed was very similar. It's like we have a really high concept, weird thing going on, and we're just gonna not hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, which yeah, I mean that's the best because it feels like it feels like a nerdy comic book, this plot in a way. Because it's about a guy who is having problems with the wife because he wants to be an
Hmm.
artist. Actually, it was kind of a funny scene where he's at the computer at his job trying to make an ad, and like his boss closes out of the app and is like, bring it back. And then he's like, I didn't save it. So they they of course have the
And
classic firing bit.
oh yeah, and he calls his boss a butt plug.
Yeah, butt plug, and then there's the scene of him in the car. He's talking to himself. He's like, a butt plug. I called him a butt plug. He's saying this to himself, by the way.
And, and yeah, like he does the bit too, where it's just like you can't fire me, I quit type of thing. And
Yeah, it's kind of
and like
funny.
it's funny because at the very he gets home and his wife, like because you don't know, but apparently they have like extreme financial troubles where it's just like they're just like, oh my God, like how are we gonna eat sort of thing. Like it's that bad. and
Uh-huh.
and she's just like, oh well, thank God for your paycheck. And he's just like,
Oh.
uh-oh. And and she's like, I'm leaving you. I'm gonna go stay with my mother. And he's like, but I don't want to stay with your mother. And she's like, you're not coming.
Yeah, it's yeah, so he's really down on his luck. And you know what he does? He drinks and he drives and then he ends up dying and he actually goes to purgatory. So that scene from the beginning of the movie takes place in purgatory and there's actually evil forces in
Well,
purgatory.
you
Go ahead.
well, you didn't
I skipped
mention the
something.
accident. We didn't mention you. I wanted you to
Oh
go
yeah.
more detail about the accident where he's like
Yeah, where he's driving down
driving
the
on this
road. Go ahead.
driving on the CG highway with these little creepy looking twins are just like on the
Uh-huh.
middle of a highway in the middle of the night, just like hanging out.
Uh-huh. And
And then
yeah.
they're like, oh, now's a good time to cross the street. And he's just like, ah, and then he veers off to the side of the road and goes through like this wormhole tube thing.
Uh-huh. And yeah, exactly. It looks so bad too. But here's the thing. I don't want to complain too much about the visuals because I will say it gives it a style. Because I was thinking about other bad CGI movies we watched, like Sound of Thunder was the first one that came to my brain, where that was like a
Yeah.
big budget movie. The CG popped up and it was like, wow, this is dog. This is
Yeah.
horrible. And like this, like you see it and it's like it's consistent at least. Like I'm watching consistently bad cheap CG. I don't know. It honestly like I even said before, you made it a little more endearing. I think this movie has like this kind of endearing factor to it.
I mean, it's like a cult classic. Like it's
Yeah,
considered like
people
that.
like this movie.
There's a Blu-ray release of this movie. Like,
Hell yeah.
like people like this movie enough to do that. And, I think it's very, like you said, it doesn't look good at all. I just want to say that. Like it looks bad.
Oh yeah.
But, but I will say it's a style. It's a style choice, and it's like an
Mhm.
unforgettable style choice where it's just
Yeah.
like you'll never see a movie like actually go like all in on their bad CGI. It'd just be like
Mhm.
it's like I mean they thought they were doing a good job there. And like you said, I mean like for 2001, I mean like CGI like in movies was still kind of like not like fully off the ground yet. So
Yeah.
it's this one was just kind of like a testing ground, and it's not like the worst CGI ever, but like it's not good either. Like I would never like think like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like we're going like this full thing in there. Because I remember like around this time, like in 2001, like Harry Potter or whatever, like they would do like the kind of like CGI moments where like Harry's like riding on like this troll, and then like Harry kind of looks like
Oh
this
yeah.
like rubber face type of character.
It would look like clay or something like
Yeah,
that. It would just look, it was very noticeable, especially nowadays. It's very noticeable. So it wasn't like all there. So like the idea to like make a whole movie surrounding that, that's not like, Toy Story or something. Like it's a leap. But I guess a cheap leap for them. Because I guess that's like what's in, because if you I for me, if I ever have an idea for a story, usually like I hold myself back because it's like, well, I would never have that kind of budget, so I couldn't make that work. And this guy, he was able to write a script with this really weird concept, and he still was able to make it within budget limitations. This weird idea of purgatory, because they get to purgatory and they're driving in cars and they drive down highways, and there's like a big villain, where the name Despiser comes from, big CGI villain. So I mean, it's cool that he got to do that. Um, but yeah, so I guess there was a spaceship that crashed in Russia, and they went to purgatory, and that's what Despiser is, and they want to get out of purgatory. So what they're doing is they're collecting a bunch of nuclear bombs to blow themselves out of purgatory, which is
yeah,
absolutely nuts. Um, and there's also like this secondary bad guy. It's like a spirit that can hop between body to
yep.
body that constantly terrorizes this group. The group maintaining of, I don't have their names, but I'm one of them is like a World War II, like I would say sergeant or something. There's a Japanese plane fighter there. I'm pretty sure that guy's not Japanese though. Like I'm
So okay, so that was my big thing too. I was like, I because I clearly I thought he was like Hispanic or something like
Same
that.
here.
Like,
Same here.
but they do say in the documentary the guy that plays him, his name is Frank Smith. He he says he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I was really glad to play this role because my mother is half Japanese, so I was able to take that side of my family and use it. So I guess technically he's quarter
I
Japanese.
guess that's cool. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to be like gung ho, because like I could see like maybe he was like at least part Japanese or something,
He's
but he puts
yeah,
on an
he
accent in this movie.
yes, he does.
Yeah. Um,
And don't forget what's her name? Charlie Road Trap or whatever her name was.
that's right. Yeah, Charlie Road Trap, played by Tara Blinkins. Tara Blinkins.
yeah, she's doing an Australian accent. She's not Australian, by
Oh,
the way.
Oh, what? Really? It was so convincing. She was so good. That accent was so good. Um,
Yeah.
no, and she's like the car girl. She loves cars and fixing up things. But they get this guy in, like Gordon, right? That's his name. Uh, they get him, and he's a part of this like purgatory protection group to protect people that freshly get there and take down this despiser. But there's also like weird creatures there which they have to fight against. Plenty of battles and action. If there's one thing about this movie, I do think, even at an hour 40 minutes, I personally felt it was a little too long. I feel like there's a bit there where I was a little tired of it.
So my biggest issue with this movie, I it I agree it does drag a lot. The problem is I think this movie thinks way too highly of its story.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
like it's very apparent like the writer, which I think is also the director, Philip Cook, I think he wrote this as well, where
Hmm.
he is just like, I am making like this lore dump I'm doing right now is gold. And it just they spend a lot of time just like characters monologuing about the past and like what they've been trying to do in their mission and the
Hmm.
Despiser. It's just there's a lot of lore that's done in this movie, and I guess that's to maybe like pad it out a little bit, just so they don't have to shoot a bunch of action scenes. But because I was all like that opening scene, I was all in. I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be like so cool because it was like a big opening action sequence
Yeah. Yeah.
to kind of hook you in. And there's one point where like the main guy, Gordon, like you said, like, he gets um sent to purgatory, and then there at one point he like gets revived,
Yes, that's right. He comes back into the real world.
and then right around there is like when I like the movie started losing me.
Yeah,
And because
I think it's funny to say this about this movie. Maybe it gets a little too goofy, right? Because like they kidnap his wife, because they got I guess they're able to get out of purgatory to kidnap his wife and take him into purgatory. And I feel like the wife stuff is like legitimately like just bad because he goes to purgatory and sees visions of her and she's like all in white. She's like, save me, you need to do this, Gordon. And it's just like, oh, it's weird to say that for this movie, but this movie actually isn't as bad as it looks. I think it's kind of a movie that's like, don't judge a book by its cover, like you said, up until a certain point.
I mean, like on paper, this seems like a movie that be one of those like, oh, it's like so bad it's good movies, like like
Yeah.
you'd all like sit around and make fun of. But like I said, this movie takes itself so seriously and like with its
Hmm.
lore and everything like that. It just but once the novelty of the CGI wears off,
Hmm.
it becomes a little too dull for me.
Yeah. Do you get like a sense of like I hate to say it, like pretension out of it? Like Philip Cook is
I
a
do.
yeah, I feel like he's a bit it feels a little pretentious at
Well, that's
times.
well, that's why I was saying like, like I think, he's thinking like very highly of himself, like when
Yeah.
he's doing this. Like
And
it's just like he thinks this story is just so brilliant, like that people are just loving every second of it.
yeah, and that's the problem is when you have scenes like the one where they collapse the crane and they have to like climb across buildings.
Yes.
And it's a giant CG crane and they're like shuffling across it in CG and it just looks so bad, but it lasts so long on it and I think it thinks it's really tense when it's really not. And like I think
No.
that's where it lost me because yeah, I think in the end they start to go after Despiser and it's like this huge road trip across a bridge and like a big fight to get there and I wasn't into it. I think
No.
it loses momentum really hard.
No. I mean, I really was not invested into it by the end of the movie because
Hmm.
they go in like the main guy, like the main guy of like the Purgatory Soldiers is like talking about the past and like his
Hmm.
old friend and like, oh yeah, we used to be a part of this big group and we used to do
Hmm.
this and that, and it's just I, I'm just like, okay, like I don't really care type of thing. And
Hmm.
um it was it dragged for me, and I wasn't I like I said, like the novelty of it kind of wore off at a certain point, and I'm just kind of like, all right, is this almost over type of thing? Like,
Yeah, same here. Same. No, I'm glad we had the
yeah,
same experience. I also was just kind of like, I'm ready for this to be over. It really, there's so much lore dumping. They could have cut off 30 minutes of this, made an hour 20, and I probably would have come out of it like, wow, that was, you know what? It's kind of got bad looks, but it's interesting. But I think it goes a little, pushes itself too hard. But would I have watched this on my PSP back in the day? You know what? Yeah, why not? I thought this would be a cool find.
no,
It's
I'm
an
not. Mm,
expensive. PSP movie too. I can imagine there's not many of these.
Now, like, let's say like your prime age when you're PSPing, like, would you have watched this movie on your PSP? Like,
If
or
I
like,
had it, yeah, I probably would. It probably wouldn't be in rotation. It's so funny. My PSP movie rotation was it was Clerks, Joe Dirt, and Saw. Those were like the three that I would always no, and A House of a Thousand Corpses. I used to watch that on my PSP as well. And I feel like Despiser could have entered that rotation. I don't know. I could see it. It would have looked better on a
maybe,
small screen.
maybe if
Yeah.
a much lower resolution too. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know, and I have to squint.
you'd be like, "Whoa, these graphics look great! It's like
I
I'm
would
playing a video game.
I would have thought
Is
it was
this a game
real.
or a movie?"
Yeah, there. Yeah, and I start playing with the controls, like thinking I'm
Hey,
playing some bad game.
yeah,
I gotta save my wife. Oh my god, I gotta dodge the twins. I died again. Oh my god. Um,
yeah.
but no,
But
yeah,
that, yeah, because I mean, like all the characters and stuff at the end of the movie, they all start dying off one by one,
yes.
and I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I'm kind of done.
Yeah, I didn't care. I really like I can't like it's very basic. They get there, Despiser tries to throw up nukes, but he stops him in time. But they all have to die in the end. So
But
everybody
did you notice the timer too? It was just like they like the countdown timer was not matching of what they were actually saying, like on their like 10 seconds, and it was like 0 seconds, like it was like
I didn't
two,
even
you
notice
know,
that. No. That's
yeah.
so stupid. How do you make a mistake? What were they thinking? But no, I personally I can't recommend this movie. I think like I like the word you used, and that was novelty. It's novel, but I think it gets tiring, and I think because of that, I can't recommend it. But then again, people do like this movie. Like you said, this movie has a cult following. If you read the letterbox reviews, it's pretty glowing from some people. But personally, I don't think it's worth watching.
Yeah, they got something out of it that I didn't. I would not recommend this to anyone really. I mean, I like I said, I thought it was pretty boring. After a good 20 minutes of the movie, you know, you're pretty much like, okay, like it doesn't really have much more to offer for me.
No, 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 I can agree with that. But you know what? I think that does wrap it up for this one. So, Ryan, what are we going to be covering on? Wait, yeah, what are we going to be? Remind us, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we are going to be covering The Shout, which is going to be on Tubi and the Criterion Channel.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one. And if you want to email, if you want to email us, you can email us at Drive and Double Feature Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us over on YouTube. But until next time.
Until next time.